everything is kind of
Ladies,
announced. No,
some
no.
stuff has been. Oh, he doesn't want to let you know now. Tell the
No.
people. Tell them. Tell them what you just told me.
Okay.
He's a conservative, and he likes Donald Trump.
Well, I would say like I like some of the things he does. So I'd like to actually have a conversation about.
Dude, they're supposed to do that here.
Yes, they are.
But
I
like this
agree.
is why Anambra State has roads and Imo State doesn't.
Well, that's a little complicated on his own.
Listen, we'll let him do his business and then we'll come back.
Days, and then
All right.
we'll do 10 days. Yeah, so Anambra was really a very unique case.
Okay.
The governor was very prudent to a fault.
Okay.
He cut costs, irrelevant things. He cut them, like the liaison office here in Abuja. He sold it off because it was like, how many times do I come here? I'll stay in a hotel when I come in.
Okay.
Sold it off because it was taking revenue to maintain the place. So he cut costs on many things, and then the State House of Assembly impeached him because he was cutting too much cost.
Really? Was that
And he was reinstated.
Were the cost cutting good?
It was good. That's why we have roads and all those things we have there now.
That's why you have roads.
Yes, and he did everything together. He called it ANIMS or something. It was Anambra Integrated Development Strategy or something like that.
So he cut costs and he used it to help the people.
Education,
and he was
yes. So he did education. He did roads. That's why Anambra, I think, has one of the best road networks in the country. So he did all of that. And we were lucky enough that before him was Chris Ngige, who was the governor that took away like godfatherism from the state. So.
But let me ask you. But then the question then becomes, if he was an executor of the state, right? If he was enacting all of that on behalf of the state, then why is it that that's not a good thing for the government to be involved in that? Why should people have to depend on the charity of other people instead of the elected officials who represent them?
So I think state should be run as a business, as in like things should be run like government should be run like a business.
Okay.
So you're able to know how much is coming in.
Okay.
And how much you can use for social programs.
Okay.
And how people can get off social programs so that they can start giving back too. We can't have dependent people. We can't keep having dependents. We have to try and make sure families are together.
Okay.
So because you find out where you have like parents and two parents in the household, they're able to. One is working, one is probably taking care of the kids at home. Extra lessons, like in Nigeria here, when you go to school, you still have to go for extra lessons most times because people prioritize on education here.
Okay.
So a lot of other things, social issues need to be resolved as well.
Right.
So there are varying problems in different. Just let me break it down by tribe. So for the Igbos, we believe in being able to take care of your family.
Okay.
It's very paramount for us.
Okay.
So you find that most times Igbos get married late. Okay. Because they want to sort themselves out so they can take care of their family.
Okay.
They don't like being dependent.
Gotcha.
There's an adage that says, I don't know how to speak Igbo very well though, but it says Igbo Enwere Igwe. So that means Igbos don't have a king. Everybody's a king of his own household.
Okay.
So because of that independent mind, you tend to find that they want to be self-sustainable.
Okay.
And it's a thing of shame when you're not able to take care of your kids.
Okay, so those are the Igbos.
The Igbos. The Yorubas are more of the same. They're also intellectuals and all of that. The Hausas, the ones that are very intelligent are very, very intelligent, but they tend to, how do I put it? They tend to, there needs to be more done in terms of having a plan for the kids when they come so that they are educated.
Okay.
And I think that is where.
How interesting.
Yeah, so it's different across, and I'm just saying Igbo, Yoruba, I think there are about 250 something tribes in the country.
Really?
So there are so many tribes in this
250 something?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And I think languages as well. I'm not so sure, but we have so many.
How come you don't speak Igbo well?
I speak, but I grew up in Lagos. And my folks weren't really. That's on them. They're not really speaking Igbo like in the household, but I picked up, and I know how to speak Igbo.
That's why you weren't home for masquerade, because that's not really home. Lagos is home.
I can understand. I even got an A in Igbo, as in I can write Igbo. I can speak, but if you're Igbo, I can really speak as well. But if you're not,
well, you know what? Let's sum it up.
Okay.
So, last words for people, since we've been talking about conservatism and stuff. What's the last word you want to leave people with, so that they know?
I don't know what to say in terms of last words. I'd say people should be more open-minded, because it goes back to empathy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it goes back to empathy because, like a lot of liberals, as in I don't really okay. I made a liberal friend of late, like that came from the States, and then we talk. So I tend to understand where they are coming from, because I think we don't have to agree on everything, but we need to understand where we are coming from.
Okay.
We need to understand why you think the way you do.
Because your views sound more progressive than conservative.
Well, I won't really say that, but I'm open-minded. I won't really say that, but I'm open-minded.
Well,
and I like there's a saying that the left and the right, they're like the wings of the eagle, and you need both of them, because if you let things go to the right, then
I hear you. It's just that I think that I don't know if you, because sounds like Legos all of a sudden. Listen, I don't know if it's because you're getting American politics from the news, but the American Conservative Party is not really known for its empathy and its care for people who are suffering. They're really about elitism and wealthy Caucasians. If you look at the Conservative Party in the U.S., there are very few people of color in it.
Yeah, I agree. But that's not how it always started. The first members of Congress that were black were all Republicans.
Yeah, I know, but see, it's not about the title.
I know.
Because in the early days, the Democrats were the people who were conservative, and then when the slaves started coming over, yes, they were. The Democrats used to be conservative. You have to look at the ideals. So, like, you're saying that you're conservative, but the ideals that you're expressing are progressive. So it's really not about the title.
It's a balance. It's a balance.
A balance. Well, that's what the progressives are. The progressives are the balance in between the liberals and the conservatives. So the Democratic Party used to be the party of the conservatives, and the Republicans used to be the liberal party. And when the slaves started coming over because of this Stockholm syndrome, they started coming over to the conservative party. That's when they fled and then became Republicans. They fled from the black people and poor black people.
That's just a differ, though. We can have that conversation.
It's written. All you have to do.
I've done a little research on this.
Okay, if you do the research on what the policies were, like a label is just a label, but if you look at what the policies were, like their conservative policies, the Democratic.
It goes deeper.
Right, exactly. Well, you know what? Listen, the conversation won't end here, but this is just a little snippet of it. Say bye to the people.
Bye. Nice talking to you all.
All right. See you all in the next segment. All right. So I'm enjoying a refreshing drink. It's a mix of orange, watermelon, pineapple. I like it. The oranges that they use are very tangy. Oh, I don't even know where. Okay, here we go. Can you turn off the music, please? Thank you. Which part of town are we in right now?
We're not too far from Wuse 2. We're in Zone 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is where the people change the money, Zone 4.
Yeah, you missed it, Tonya. Where did you go?
Oh, metal scaffold. I haven't seen that. I've only seen bamboo scaffolding out here. today's my last day, so whatever I don't get today. Look at this mango tree right there with mangoes on it. Get a mango then. Isn't that amazing? Full and juicy.
So you can end your trip, and when you turn in, you turn out. That's already too much.
Alright, so we stopped by a little Mediterranean restaurant to grab some food real quick. It's actually really good, very beautiful here. Just so lovely. Like something from a dream. Wow.
Very nice perspective.
Yeah.
Good luck, yeah.
So beautiful. Oh gracious, and then you turn the corner onto trash.
I think it's a construction site. So
really?
They're working on something. It's pretty much neat in this environment. Straight. You take a left and stop from the first house on your right.
I've been served this really amazing, yummy, hot ginger tea. It tastes so spicy and fresh. Real ginger, lemon. It's just amazing. I'm in this amazing cafe that has all of these signs on the wall. Like all of these. It's like, so you know what? I have to zoom in on it for you. Look at this one. Warning, children left unattended will be sold to the circus. I love this. So amazing. Hello knockouts, Tonya TKO here, and I'm coming in at the tail end of this video and doing this vlog to create some continuity to tie in the pieces so that you all will know and summarize everything that took place. Because as of tomorrow's video, we are leaving Abuja and heading back to Lagos, where we run into a little bit of drama with Bola and an adventure that we went on. So that's going to be in tomorrow's video. So let me just summarize. Oh my goodness, Tochukwu, my goodness. All right, so I was in the cafe and Tochukwu walked in. And you know how when you have a dream, and in your dream, you know who a person is, even though this person is just showing up in your dream, right? When I saw Tochukwu for the first time, I had this, like my synapses started firing. It was like, I know this guy, but I don't know how it is that I know him, but I don't physically recognize him. You know how, like I'm telling you, like in your dreams, a person can be in a completely different body, but you recognize the energy of the person. You know exactly who it is that they are. So I see him and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm like, let me just leave that up, whatever, right? I'm like, because he didn't see me. He walked in, he was doing his own thing, right? All right. And then he happened to come out of the area that he was in and he went to walk past me and I called out to him, right? Excuse me. And when he saw me, for the split second that he first laid eyes on me, it was like he recognized me too. And that was a really interesting experience because it was like, okay. And then so you all saw the video footage of us, even just moments after we met. There was like this instant connection that existed there. I don't even really know how to explain it. I did a live video earlier today and I was talking about how our soul family, not all of our soul family lives on the continent that we're on. You can meet your soul family any place on this earth because, as you know, we all come from one energy. And TOCHUKO was one of those people that it was like, I'll tell you more. You know, I took notes to make sure that I stayed on point. I'm going to come back to what it is that I was going to say. But, all right. So he recognized me. I recognized him. And he opened up himself to me. He was just really open. He told me his story. We talked. We did some videotaping. We had a good time. And as you see, we're like intertwined in these. It was an interesting experience. And editing the footage and looking at the footage and the body languages, etc. It was interesting for me. Nonetheless. Let's move forward. I'll move forward with one. All right. So, as you know, I had run out of Naira because remember, I changed the money on the side of the street. They like $100 bills, fresh, crisp, big faces, you know, the $100 bills. So I wasn't going to change another 100 because I was only going to be there for a few more days. I had enough Naira. I negotiated a price with Bola. I had enough Naira just to pay for my hotel room and some food. As you all remember, I was bargaining on the bread and cheese the next day because I'd run out of Naira and I had just enough to be able to do what it is that I needed to do and then leave. All right. And so TOCHUKO, he treated me to everything. I didn't even have to ask. He treated me to whatever it is that I wanted. And when I told him that I was hungry, he took me to a restaurant, one of his faves. He paid for the Uber. We went to this place. He paid for my food. And it was just, this is what I was going to say earlier. And so I came back around to it. It was surreal because it was like I was thrown for a loop because I'm like searching my spiritual Rolodex, was trying to figure out, did I have a dream with this person in it? Where do I recognize this energy from? And I'm like trying to, so I'm like, you know, your girl is never really quiet, but I'm sitting there quiet and I'm like trying to figure this out. And I'm like, oh my God, because I was thrown because it's like, here we have this Trump supporter who smokes. And I'm just like, what's happening? Why is it that I recognize this human? All right. So then we go from the restaurant, and I tried to do a little bit of footage there, but as you can see, the footage is lazy because at this point, first of all, Abuja is a very laid back city. It's like you go into Abuja and it's like, you know, even Chibuike was different in Abuja than he was in Accra. You all saw that and you were like, is that Chibu? And I was like, who do you think it is, right? So then nonetheless, remember in The Wizard of Oz where there were like these flowers and there was like some sort of twinkle dust or whatever that comes out of the flowers and then you just become very sleepy and lethargic. When I was in Abuja, I just could not pick up my energy. It was just like so laid back, just even like just hanging with Boo. You get the feeling that you, or I did, that you lived there. I felt like I lived there. I felt like this was my city. I felt like this was my town. I felt very comfortable there. We were like going to parties, like me and Shibu. And it was just like, it was nice. It was just laid back. And it was just a chill, nice vibe. You really could fit into like a groove in Abuja. Like, it was nice. So nonetheless, so we left from the restaurant and we go to another cafe. And in this cafe, because he was saying he had some work to do, right? So in this cafe, we went into this really lovely room. And it was like, so the cafe had like this separate room for like cigar smokers or whatnot. And so he was in there and he started smoking. So I couldn't stay in the room because I'm not about that smoker's life, right? And so I left the room and I went out to this other area because, as you know, I have videos to edit every single day, editing videos. And so while he was working, I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to work too. And so I went out to another area and I was just sitting there, just chilling and doing my work. And then the manager came out and the manager started chatting me up. And then the manager decided to treat me to drinks and cakes and stuff. Why do people know that I love cakes? Speaking of which, as you see, I got my Nigerian weight loss going. I got the caramel toned skin. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. But with TKO, it was really interesting because it was like we were inseparable. It was like, but not even in a manufactured kind of way. So like he was sitting there doing his work and I was just in awe of the whole experience because it just felt so comfortable and it felt so right. And so like, how, some people have boyfriend energy, some people have wifey energy. TKO has husband energy. I think there are just some men who just have husband energy. And it was really nice just hanging out with him. And for me, first of all, I love to work. I love working. I love industrious men. I love ambitious men. And it was nice to just be in that element. It was nice. You know what? It felt like, I'm going to be honest with you all because, you all keep it real with me. So I'll keep it real with you. It felt like we were in a relationship and went someplace and we were just chilling because I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this before, but it felt like we were already in a relationship and like I was hanging out with my man and I was like, wait a minute, it's not my man. I don't know this person. But it was interesting and it was an amazing experience because it really gave me a crash course inside view into what living, dating, and chilling would just be like in Nigeria, in Abuja. And it was a really nice experience that I melded into comfortably and just relaxed into. And I was happy. It was like, and I had to actually end up leaving him there because I had to leave the next day. And it's funny because, and it's funny because, and someone posted this on their Facebook page because I was talking about this in the live about really interact, like what it takes, all of the moving pieces that need to come into play for you to meet up with a person. So like when I met Chibuike, I was in the hotel. I'd been in the hotel for a few days. I was actually supposed to be, I thought I went to go check into a different hotel, but that wasn't the hotel. That was the place that I saw the girl. Then I came to this hotel. They couldn't find my reservation. I started trying to change my hotel. Then when I came back in, they found my reservation and they were like, oh, and they really wanted me to stay there, but I could have switched if I wanted to, but I didn't. I decided to stay there. And then I was there for a few days. And then that morning I was like, I'm hungry. And they have a kitchen here. Let me see if I have complimentary breakfast. So I spent some time talking to the people at the front desk. They were like, you don't have complimentary breakfast. I was talking, just doing some rapport back and forth with the manager. And then the manager was like, okay, we'll treat you to breakfast today, right? And I was like, wonderful. And then I walked into the dining area and there was Chibuike and I spoke to him and we just hit it off. We just hit it off and it was really nice. And so for any of you ladies out there who feel apprehension about reaching out to it, listen, I'm not telling you to chase any man. But a hello, a hi, a calling out to asking them of a question, whatever, just making your presence be known. I see nothing wrong with making your presence be known and then just letting the rest of it evolve naturally. So nonetheless, right? So nonetheless, TKO, it was nice. It was nice hanging out with him. It was nice chilling with him. And you all know how I am. Listen, I leave and I turn my focus towards where it is that I'm going, what it is that I'm doing, to be in the present. But there's something about his presence, there's something about his energy that let me know that there's more there that needs to more interaction that needs to happen. And so I listened to my guides and guardian angels, which were nagging me. And we just continued to stay in touch. That's pretty much the bulk of the story with that. You know, it's a really interesting thing when it comes to your energy theing another person's energy, and this person being in human form and making the decisions that go along with their human disposition, their human experience, like the decision that he's made to smoke in this lifetime. And, you know, I'm not really down with the smoking, right? And the whole Trump supporter thing, you know, being a conservative is one thing, but a Trump supporter. But I think that there are people who don't know the full extent of who and what Trump is, because they're not on our soil. They're removed from just the degradation, the denigration, and the subjugation that exists in his presidency, right? So then there's that. And I personally, I mean, the Trump thing and the smoking, that's, you know, I remember I watched this, it was Grey's Anatomy, and Stephanie, the person who was dating that light-eyed boy, right? His mother had saw her in a compromised position, and she was like, you know, that's one thing about me, but there are 1,000 more interesting things about me. And she got that from a patient who I think had a beehive up his butt, but that's another story. But nonetheless, so the Trump thing and the smoking thing is one part of his experience here. But there are many other things that are interesting about him. Like he's into commodities trading, and his vision and the passion that he has, and like I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But I'm inspired by him. I find his vision to be inspirational, and I find his passion to be motivating and invigorating, actually. So out of all of the people that I met on this trip, there were a few that just really rose above the fray. And I'm happy for my trip. I'm glad that I went on it. I'm looking forward to you all watching the rest of the videos as we do go forward. And I love your comments and stuff below. As you know, I am in the comments. I do read the comments. And I will see you all in the next video when the drama unfolds with Bola. So on that note, I got so much on my mind right now, just thinking about just everything. And the journey life takes you on when you relax into it and allow yourself to go on these journeys and allow yourself to converse with people who have different ideologies and different backgrounds, and share ideas with them and figure out what is it that makes you feel this way. You know, it's like there are people who have certain ideologies, but why? How did this come about? What is behind this? What is underneath this? And is it possible to coexist in an association with a person with tremendously different ideals and ideas? On that note, let me get out of here. I just wanted to just sum this up. I didn't think I would be talking this long, but listen, I love you all. Hug me, hug me, hug me. I'll hug you all. Oh, listen, thank you. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. And part of loving yourself, I would say, would be opening yourself to experiences. I wonder how many of us women take our life on a different path when we don't speak up to reach out to people that we find interesting. Because if you think about it, if you don't reach out to people that you find interesting, then you leave yourself as a sitting, I don't want to say sitting duck, but you leave yourself as a stagnant entity. I don't want to say stagnant either, but just in one spot entity that would only be approached by people who find you interesting. And you don't really get the chance to interact with those people that spark your spirit in a certain way, that spark your curiosities, that really kind of, I don't know. I still feel like I've said so much already. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Peace.
going on this trip has changed me.
The wheel popped off and the car just dropped to one side. We just skidded. Oh goodness, she's attracted some guys who are beefing with her out there. She came to the car to tell me to safeguard my purse and phone. What in the world is going on right now? All right.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications for more.